Yeah, so welcome back to the stream. And in today's stream, we will be starting out with the rebuild of a vehicle. After such rebuild, we'll move to salvaging the parts, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and move over to order taking. Sorry that took so long. Normally doesn't take that long, but with that, let's go ahead and get moved into the shop here. Let me see. Let's see if we can't find a vehicle in the junkyard. Haven't been there in a while. Oh, is that right? Yeah, that would not be a very fun build, if you ask me. Bolt Chapman. What a rare build. 16 OHV engine standard, so we'll consider it. But I want to see if there's anything else here. Uh, all too common Bolt Reptilia. Prefer not to do that one. Salem Spectra Fastback. Got that as an option. Chieftain Bandit. Also have that over there. And 6 and Cebu. This one kind of looks like Tiburon. I used to own a Tiburon, so I think we'll go ahead and build this one and put a 14 dual overhead cam BFM engine in it. So with that, the buying commission of 5% is 223 credits with an estimated car value upgraded of 5,547 credits. Buy price of 4,686 credits. So we'll go ahead and make that purchase. Moving out to the garage and go ahead and follow it to the garage. Alright, so we have the vehicle here. We'll just go ahead and start by moving it on over to the car wash. At the car wash, yeah. Working at the car wash. Get the interior all vacuumed out. Moving on over to the left. As you can see, this one is in pretty rough condition, as they usually are coming out of the junkyard. But we'll get it back up to specification. Let's just start by taking off the body parts. Oh, no, no, no. I swear I only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep last night, so if I'm acting a little wacky, you could blame my neighbors. Alright, so we got those body parts removed. We could go ahead and remove the parts from the engine bay. Well, I should say a little wackier than normal. I always act a little wacky. Gotta act a little whack. And we'll go ahead and start removing these tires. Well, look at that. We only had 2 tires on it. So with that, we could start removing the mechanical parts. This Tiburon lookalike has been sitting for a while, clearly. It has been picked apart. Honestly, I would love to get to the junkyard and just see if I could find any parts for my personal vehicle. That would be a useful upgrade. But, you know, still in between jobs at this time, so that's not gonna happen. Only had one bushing in that rear cross member. That's funny. No wheel hub bearing in that front one there. And no starter, so kind of makes this part easier. Normally we'd have to lower the vehicle in order to get that starter removed, but there's no starter, there's no need. Also no need to change the oil when it's all drained. Oh, we'll move over here, get that engine pulled out, move that back into place, and put this engine on that lift, and go ahead and move the welder into place in order to get the vehicle back into original equipment manufacturer condition. That would be OEM condition, looking like new. And with that, let's take this battery off of there and see if I have any more. I don't believe I do. No. But before we get started, we'll put that brake disc on the last and get these cam caps removed. There we go. That could have been the quickest engine breakdown we have ever done, at least in recent times. We'll go ahead and start by repairing the mechanical parts we're able to repair, followed by the repair of the body parts we're able to repair. However, before we do that, let's go ahead and remove this other brake disc from the lathe and get the last one up on there. So that can get resurfaced while we're repairing the mechanical parts. Which we only have about 5 pages of. So again, not too bad. Thankfully for you guys, the beginning of this episode where I was having difficulty getting the stream up today, you will not have to endure if you're watching after the stream. I usually get that part edited out so you guys don't have to endure that. Edited out in post. Alright. And got that. Let's go ahead and repair the 3 repairable body parts there are. And with that, we will, well, first let's check in here to see if I have that engine available already, which is possible. It's unlikely, and I do have it. So that kind of came in handy. With that, we can go ahead and just skip to the process of putting it back in the vehicle. There. See there, we got it in the vehicle. Go ahead and take that off. I guess I forgot to remove those glass pieces there. And we'll look the vehicle on up. And let's go ahead and get the mechanical parts put in there. Small rubber bushings. That's what we're going to need to purchase more of. As well as rear wheel hubs. We don't get too many of those. Brake disc. Yeah, I thought we needed those. All right, let's go ahead and move up to the front with these exhaust pipes. Get about 3 of those. And get that added. I guess we already have the small rubber bushings. Also need the larger ones as well. Yes, I'm guessing the small ones were what I replaced earlier. Yeah, those were it. And apparently we need those as well. Seems like we're replacing just about everything today. Well, running out of everything. Excuse me. let's get those separated, as well as the tire. Those will be A's. I have about 2 of those here. Should cover that. And let's see if those are repairable. Looks like both of those rims are Rim Classic 18s. And they are repairable. So, let's start by getting 2 more of those. Two more. And see what kind of tires we're going to be putting on the front and back of here. In order to do that, we will need those shock absorbers to be installed. Oh, surprise, surprise. We need that one too. Granted, that is kind of a rare in-link. We don't see too often. So it is understandable that we wouldn't have it in the inventory offhand. Let's go ahead. See, standard tire, 1840, 225. 1840, 225. We'll go with 255s in the back and 225s in the front. It's kind of look cool, you know. Look cool while driving down that road. Ah, apparently. Apparently 2 of those were 12s. Let me just make sure here. We did get the correct rim size, 18. I don't know why 2 of them came out to be Rim Classic 18, 12 inches, but they did, so we'll replace them with the correct ones. Excuse me. I need to put that on, right? I think we may have unintentionally put a 225 on the back, where a 255 belongs. So if you'll see here, see how those rear tires are wider than the front tires. That's what I was referring to. Kind of looks cool. Honestly, looking at it now, I think I should have replaced all four of them with the 255s. It would have looked a lot better on this one. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. After all, we're not pimping this vehicle today. We're just rebuilding. Rebuild. So in the process of that, let's go ahead and get all these engine bay parts back in here. Got the radiator housing. I'm guessing the radiator housing fan is just going to be this one. we go. Got that put on there. With that, let's go ahead and get these body parts put back on. At least the ones we were able to repair. Not including that one. That's odd. We definitely had more license plates in our warehouse. Don't know why they weren't in our inventory already. After all, I cleared the warehouse this morning around, was it like 8 a.m. when I was getting started? Just getting started at YouTube work, I would say. Well, Twitch work is actually where I started. Had some editing. What was it? Editing? No, I had to create some clips on my Twitch. So anybody who watches it, you could check out my Twitch channel. I did upload a few clips from my most recent live stream today to my Twitch. And I also went ahead and uploaded some clips from my most recent recorded video on my YouTube channel today as well. You should be seeing those coming weekly here, coming up. Just every week you should see about 4 to 5 of them show up there. So let's see. Right side mirror, side fender, hood. Yeah, might as well look in aftermarket. Bring in more when we sell it. And it looks better. Alright, should be good. Let's go ahead and take this on over to the car wash before we get it painted. Give it another wash. Now we'll go with red. Go ahead and move it out front so we can get those interior parts replaced. Two of those. And seat. And a steering wheel. With that, before we take off here, make sure we can get it started. Started right up the first time. So we'll move it on over to the dyno. Started without an intercooler. That's kind of cool. That you could do that in the game. I mean, real life you could do it, but if you keep it on too long, it'll just overheat. That started here. That is really good for this type of vehicle. Looks like we started with 270 horsepower at 5,975 RPM and 273 foot-pounds of torque at 3,755 RPM and measured the power at 412 horsepower at 6,045 RPM, 396 foot-pounds of torque at 3,945 RPM for a gain of 53% at 142 horsepower gained and 46% on the torque at 124 foot-pounds of torque gain for a drag rating of C261. Pretty cool. Then we have the body at 100, the frame at 100, parts at 100, interior at 100. And the parts value is 21,862 credits. Body value at 9,048 credits. Performance parts value at 13,072 credits. Condition bonus is 16,113 credits. Buy price 4,686 credits. Profit, well, sell price of 60,095 credits, which brings us to a profit of 55,409 credits. Pretty good profit, especially for the type of vehicle it is. And with that, we are finished with that rebuild. So we'll go ahead and move over to the salvage bench. And for those of you unaware, on my channel, I like to play a little game while salvaging parts, which would be just counting the amount of parts I am able to achieve a bonus on, and seeing if we could beat the record for that particular week. So, last I recall, the record was about 19 in a row. So as soon as I miss one here, we'll get started with the counting. One, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, one, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. One, one, two, three, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, didn't achieve the record. However, we did get all those finished there within a fairly good amount of time. With that being said, we can go ahead and get started with the orders. And what I like to do when taking orders is just grab the vehicles with the least amount of time and take those into the shop. Now let's go ahead and see what kind of work this one's going to need. It looks like it has a loud exhaust. So we can go ahead and lift it up. See what kind of exhaust parts need to be replaced. And it looks like we have a catalytic converter and the exhaust pipe there. we got that and that. We can go ahead and finish it up here. That's a loud exhaust at 260 credits, task bonus of 32 credits, job bonus of 65 credit for a total payout of 357 credits. So we'll go ahead and click finish on that. And it looks like we gained another level for level 69. Now, with this one, it looks like we have suspension rattling, as well as brake system needs fixing, and car is loud. So let's go ahead and start with that brake system here. It looks like we have to reach a minimum of 44%, right? Yeah, that was 44%. So we're just going to use our little magnifying glass. It's not going to let us do it for that one. So let's just go ahead and take this off. I believe this would reach a minimum of 44, but I want to take off the brake ABS pump just to make sure, and it does not. So we'll replace that one with the new one and put back on this old module. Alright, with that, we can lift up the vehicle. And start by taking this off. And that cap is going to need replacing. Looks like both of the caps will need replaced. And that front absorber shock is also going to need replaced. We'll go for the eggs. Alright, just wanted to make sure. We'll get about 5 of those for the future. And go ahead and put those back on. Along with this caliber here, which itself will need replaced. Let's move on to the back. Looks like that brake pad is going to need replaced at the very minimum. Calipers should be alright. Let me check this out real quick. At 44. It's on the verge of needing replaced, but not quite. Check out the wheel hub bearing. That should be good as well. So we'll put that tire back on. Looks like that brake pad will need replaced. And we got that tire back on. So with that, see the front exhaust. Looks like we have the exhaust manifold we're going to need to replace there. Got the suspension rattling taken care of. Brake system is still showing some issues and the car is still loud. The brake system, brake booster is good. This pump is good. That brake pad needs replacing. We would have already done that. Well, the brake system need for fixing has been resolved. Now we just have that exhaust manifold to get replaced and should be good to go. With that, excuse me, have the whole vehicle repaired. So the suspension rattling was 250 credits. The brake system needs fixing is at 1,145 credits. Car is loud at 80 credits. Task bonus of 798 credits. Job bonus of 388 credits. Total payout of 2,661 credits. So we'll go ahead and click finish on that. And finish that in a really good time, actually. Now, let's go ahead and see what else we have here. I have about 44 seconds left on that, so we'll pick that out. and pick the moon up. We just did a pimp job on that moon. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen my channel before, where we essentially go through and re-innovate vehicles with a more aggressive urban style. Speaking of that, in about 2 weeks, we'll have our final episode of Pimp This Ride coming up, so that'll be a pretty big one. Planning on a special episode with that one. I'll probably announce next week. Previous to that, however, we will be doing another special episode, kind of a preparation episode for the final episode of Pimp This Ride, where we search the barns as well as possibly the junkyards and maybe even the saloon for a new vehicle to pimp. So be sure to check those out. With that, let's go ahead and continue with this here. Now we have sloppy car steering, repair all running gear faults, suspension rattling, brake system needs fixing, and repair or replace body parts. Looks like the minimum condition will be about 50%. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Now the ABS module is definitely going to need to be replaced. Now we'll pull that, go ahead and put in a new one. Pull that brake booster, not a big deal. Don't need to replace that, it looks like. Ooh, the suspension, we're gonna need a new cap on there and link over here. Looks like a wheel hub bearing in the back. Looks like we'll need to replace this brake pad as well. And that outer tie rod. That's a new one. I believe that one was good. It is. We'll go over here. And get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and remove this. And we'll replace that rotor as well as the pad. And the inner tie rod. Also going to need to be replaced with the sway bar front end link and the cap on this assembly. Now let's go ahead and separate that. Need to get more of those. Might as well get about 20 of those, since they do come in handy. Looks like this brake pad is going to need replacing. And we'll replace the rear wheel hub bearing. Like that rear shock absorb, well, rear drive axle needs replacing as well. Oof, this is rough. For this one, we're going to have to tear apart the entire assembly. So if you were getting this replaced in real life, it would cost a fair amount on labor cost. Or in your own time and effort. Axle knuckle there. Right. Want to make sure both of those bushings were good. They were. Alright. Took a nap earlier, so I'm feeling a lot more refreshed than I would be had I not. Gotta be honest, I was exhausted just struggling through this morning. Trying to be as productive as I could. Alright, so next we just have to repair and replace some body parts, and we should be good to go. And we got the front left fender, front right door, and front right door window. Front left fender as well. Left side mirror, right side mirror, and trunk. So, let's go ahead and repair those parts. The rib sand. Alright, I want to see if we have any body parts for the rib sand. Rib sand. That we might need. We definitely don't have any glass there that we need. Of course, we never do. Oh, we're gonna need to replace that. And that should about complete it. So, got slopping. What is that? We got sloppy car steering for 59 credits. Repair all running gear faults for 226 credits. Suspension rattling for 65 credits. Brake system needs fixing at 920 credits. Repair or replace body parts at 1,178 credits. Task bonus of 608 credits. Job bonus of 957 credits. Total payout of 4,013 credits. So we'll go ahead and look into replacing the fuel or brake fluid. The brake fluid is what we're going to be putting more of, as we drained it when we took off the, what do they call it in this game? Well, it's actually the brake booster, but they call it something else in the game. Brake reservoir or something like that. Brake servo, that was it. We'll go ahead and finish that and move on over to this one. Looks like we got a loud exhaust on this, so that's going to be the manifold. Probably be the fastest one we have today. Fastest repair, that is. Which is good, because after this, I will need a half a cup of coffee break. It makes a cup and a half for the day. We're not doing too bad. Try to keep it at a cup, as I have heart condition. But, probably shouldn't even take that much, to be honest with you. Looks like we have one more exhaust problem. I thought it was only one. I guess I was wrong. Alright, so we'll go ahead and finish that. Oops, I finished it before I can go through the list. I do apologize for that. But with that, let's go ahead and get the radio turned on, and we'll step outside for a quick smoke break. Alright, I'm back. As you saw by the screen jittering. See? I'm back. With that, we could shut off the radio. Go ahead and see about taking in another order here. That one. And move that there. Move this on over to car let B. Excuse me. Now we have a lack of engine power, knocking sound coming from suspension, gears keep slipping, and other tasks, being to increase the tuning of a car by 6 to 11%, which shouldn't be but one or two parts. That lack of engine power, knocking sound, gears. Alright, so let's see about that knocking sound first. Well, that would be the lack of engine power. Part of it anyway. Also got a ignition coil that could be replaced. Let's see here. Yes. For the most part, those are going to be replaced with the same ones. Except for one of them, which will be replaced with a new. We still got one reason for the lack of engine power. But the knocking in the engine bay is partially caused by this shock absorber assembly A. Looks like there's another problem as well, which we could check out when we're down there. Other than that, while we're up here, see if we might be able to find it with a compression test. Nothing there. OBD scanner. Nothing there. Electric meter. I doubt if it's going to pick up anything. Well, nothing there either. So considering that, let's try something here. Still have nothing. Huh. Air filter and other air components are good. That's all good. Well, let's go ahead and get it up on a lift, and we'll just have a look then. Or we get it up completely, I might need to remove that gearbox, so we'll go ahead and remove the starter. Got that removed. Go ahead and remove this as well. Solve another problem there. And while we're back here, let's check this side. That side looks alright. About 10 of these. Just replace the whole thing. And we still have a lack of engine power and the gears slipping. So let's go ahead and remove the drive axles so we can get the shaft out from the gearbox. New flywheel there, and everything else should be good. Still a lack of engine power. Go and drain that oil out real quick. Even the filter was good. We've already replaced the fuel filter. Makes me curious on the condition of the rods and everything. Oh, that looks good. Oh, we've checked the innermost of the engine. That looks good. So, could be a camshaft, I guess. We can go ahead and check into that. Might get lucky. I doubt if we will, but might get lucky and it'll just be an injector. Well, I do believe we just got lucky. One fuel injector. Bad. So with that, we do have to increase the power of the engine by 6 to 11%. So we'll just replace this turbo. And hopefully that'll be about 6% in and of itself. See here in just one moment. 7%. So that is perfect. And we'll put more oil in here and we should be good to go. Now, the lack of engine power at 309 credits, knocking sound coming from suspension at 200 credits, gears keep slipping at 500 credits, other task at 1,240 credits, task bonus of 1,003 credits, job bonus of 1,167 credits, for a total payout of 4,419 credits. So we'll go ahead and just click finish on that and move on over here. Looks like we have to inspect and replace the filters, put new engine oil and filter in, lack of engine power, loud exhaust, driver struggling to find gears, and gearbox control and repair. Well, the lack of power is going to be caused by that fuel filter in part. Manifold seems to be alright. Let me try something here. Like we have a clutch pressure plate, clutch bearing, and the clutch plate that needs replaced for the gears slipping. Fuse box assembly seems okay. And let's go ahead and try a compression test real quick. Apparently this engine came with a special feature. That is no oil. I've never seen that before. Oh, need to replace the oil filter as well. And the air filter, so we might as well do that. ECU's bad, we'll need to replace that. Should help with the probably gear or loss of power issue. Oh, that was the lack of engine power issue. Not exhaust. Got the filters replaced. Already filled in new oil. I guess it wants us to drain the oil, even though there was no oil in the engine officially, is what it said, but we'll drain it. Look at that, dark oil, even though it's new. We found a bug. It took a lot, but we found another one. Oh, we'll go ahead and take this off the lift. And we'll need to remove that starter in order to get the gearbox off. Put it back up here. Lack of engine power. Still need to put that new oil in there. Hmm. There it is. Fuel rail. Alright, so with that, we have inspected and replaced the filters at 224 credits, put new engine oil and filter in at 25 credits, lack of engine power at 664 credits, loud exhaust at 60 credits, driver struggling to find gears at 123 credits, general gearbox and control and repair, well, general gearbox control and repair at 213 credits. Task bonus at 676 credits. Job bonus at 439 credits. And total payout of 2,424 credits. Now we'll go ahead and get that starter on, and then we'll be able to get this out of here. Let me go ahead and check here. Got that Ford Mustang coyote Take that in there, move that to lift A. And we have them, and take that into lift B. Let's see what's going on with this one real quick. Other task, change all fluid. That's easy enough. Alright, so with that, we got other tasks for 100 credits completed. Task bonus at 50 credits. Job bonus at 50 credits for a total payout of 200 credits. We'll finish that up. Come over here to the main T8, where we got to replace timing related parts. Mark all those down. And the engine has no power. Replace all engine faults. Replace all filters. Cannot start the car. Replace engine, oil, and filter. This is a, what, okay, good. So it's not an electric vehicle, it's just a V10. Alright, this is a handful. So I'm just gonna step away for a moment while I do that. I'll go ahead and turn on the radio here, and I will be right back with you. Alright, I'm back. Excuse me. I can get this throttle removed and replaced. Get the ECU out. The starter out. Put in a new one. Place that filter with a new one. ECU with a new one. And we'll replace the engine head cover as well as anything underneath it that undoubtedly needs to be replaced. We got the rocker arm here and that rocker arm. Well, it's that rocker arm. Let me take a look at these push pins. That one's gonna need to be replaced. This one's gonna need to be replaced. So will this one. Alright, we'll go ahead and put those new ones in there. It's gonna get like 12 of them. I'm sure there'll probably be some on the other side that need replaced as well. That's 60. Alright. And about 10 of, well, they get 6. 7. Just in case. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Alright, got those replaced. There we go. We pulled that starter already? Alright. The crankshaft pulley. Well as the water pump. Will also need replaced. As well as this belt. remove all this in order to get to the timing parts as well. Probably have to remove that oil filter to do it with the design of this engine. Yeah, it's going to require us to remove the oil filter as well. Before we get down there, let me check something else out. Good. Let's check it out on the electric meter. If we have that many parts out, chances are there's a fuse or two out too. Relay type C. What? It says relay type C needs replaced. However, there are only two and they're both over 70%. Am I tripping? Or am I tripping? 60% base. Relay type C. Oh, I know. That should be considered a bug if you ask me. But I know what it is. At least I think I know. Yep, it's in the second fuse box. And since we did do it with the electric meter, I guess it wouldn't be considered a bug. These V12s come with two fuse boxes. I mean, if you're going to be technical about it, every vehicle comes with two fuse boxes. But in the game, only the bigger engines actually show up with it. Every modern engine. I don't think the older ones had two of them, but I'm not totally certain. I've never had the privilege of working on an older engine. Or the honor, you might say. Oh, put it on a little too soon. Take that off, and let's go ahead and drain the oil as well. And while the oil's drained, instead of having to run a compression test, or anything else for that matter, we could just go ahead and take this off, take a look physically at everything in there. With my peepers, see if I could peep a problem. I am not peeping anything immediately that would cause concerns. So with that, make sure everything's good down here. And we'll put the engine back off the lift. Never know when you're going to need another one of those timing chains, you know? Or for that matter, one of these serpentine belts. Go ahead and put it up here. We can get that oil filter back on. Oil filter reapplied. And we'll put it back down. For the oil. That should at least allow the engine to start up. And with that, we could run a compression test if need be to see what else we need to replace. Oh, cannot start still. Still being difficult. Okay, so we know it's not a fuse. I got that filter and that filter. Desperately need replacing. Just put on new clips here. It's not a big expense. After all, we'll be able to repair the other ones and use those for anything else. Go. That may allow it to start. No, but we did get replace all filters completed. Still not starting though. Fuel rail appears to be okay. Connecting to the fuel injectors, which look alright. Let me check under here real quick. Got that arm, it's gonna need replacing. Gonna need to replace that one. See about these push pins or push rods, whatever you'd like to call them. That's weird. They seem to be okay. Alright, guess it's a spark plug. Definitely not the wires. Got about 2 plugs out on that side. About 10 of them. Don't call me that. And got 1 out on that side. We'll put that back on. Should allow it to start now, and it will. So with that, we'll go ahead and run a compression test. Oof. When I saw 4 of those pistons were black, I didn't think anything of it because you come across those sometimes. It's a kind of thing that comes like that. But apparently with this vehicle, they did not. So we're going to have to replace 4 of the pistons. For that, as many of you probably already know, we will need to tear apart the entire engine to get to them. Alright, let's go ahead and take this off. Get those caps removed and get these pistons out of here. Let's go. There we go. Alright, so we can go ahead and put that back down and get those pulled real quick. Oh, still got one of them that's got the cap on there. Mm. No, that's not possible. Wonderful. Well, lucky for you guys, not watching this live, you'll never have to endure seeing this. Because it never happened. Oh. No. Apparently I forgot a piston. I don't believe I did. I don't see how that's possible given it's black and I was seeing black piston, but apparently I did. Alright, let's go ahead and bring this vehicle back up on the lift. And we'll get those caps in there. And now we could fill that oil back up. Oh, it should be good to go now. We did replace the timing related part for 500 credits. The engine has no power at 889 credits. Repair all engine faults at 1,763 credits. Replace all filters at 333 credits. Cannot start the car at 40 credits. Replace engine oil and filter at 25 credits. Task bonus at 3,543 credits. Job bonus of 1,586 credits for a total payout of 8,679 credits. And that will finish that. And that should about finalize this video. So with that being said, we did go ahead and get that V10 repair completed, which was a big ordeal in and of itself. Took about, what, 25 minutes to complete that with the pistons that went wrong. We had the timing instrument, well, mechanicals that went wrong. We had to replace the belt. Um, Timing included the water pump, the pulley. So that was a pretty big ordeal in and of itself. We didn't get the record for the salvage parts, unfortunately, but we did finish that rebuild pretty quickly and gained as much horsepower as I've ever seen in that engine by swapping out the engine for a BFM engine, which I love so much for those kind of models. So altogether, wasn't a bad stream. But with that, I would like to thank you for joining me for today's stream. You could join me again every Friday at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and on Twitch every Monday and Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you enjoyed watching this content, please feel free to like, and if you would like to see more of this content, please feel free to subscribe to be updated on all new video releases for my channel. And as always, thanks for watching.